Right, it's time for Right versus Left. And joining me again, we've got Europe's most senior political consultant, Susan Evans, and Bill. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for coming back.
Former senior Labour minister.
You're still senior, aren't you? So listen, farmers' fury. Are the Labour government biting the hand that feeds us with this ridiculous, impartial here, ridiculous inheritance tax on farmers? Susan?
They're biting the hand that feeds us all. I get excited and agitated about a lot of things in politics. I don't think I've been more angry about anything else for a very long time, really. I live in rural Shropshire. I'm surrounded by farms. They're going to take a massive hit here. The one security for food that we had in this country was that you knew that you could pass your farm on to your children without having to pay tax on it. And that's now been utterly devastated. Most farms are worth over £1 million. I mean, this nonsense that Rachel Reeves is talking, that it's only 20%, that is completely disputed by HMRC's own figures, by DEFRA's own figures, by the National Farmers Union's figures. It's utter nonsense. I've got the DEFRA figures here in front of me. The average net worth across all farms was 2.2 million in 2023. And obviously house prices have gone up massively since that, because as soon as more people keep coming into the country, of course, they're going to keep going up. She said, you can pay off the tax debt within 10 years tax-free. But the average income of a farm is only around £90,000. And that's the income, not the profit. Yeah. So farmers have been completely
I think Bill's going to disagree. Bill, look, I spoke to a farmer earlier this week. He's only got a small farm, a few hundred acres. He tells me a combine harvester is best part of £250,000. Tractor, another 100 and something grand plus VAT. There's your £1 million straight away.
Do you know, I've never seen such manufactured, ill-informed grief about a tax change as this. Farmers, Paul Johnson from the IFS said this is massively overblown.
What does the IFS know about farming?
Farmers have got nothing to fear. Under these changes, you can still pass on £3 million tax-free. You then only pay 20% inheritance tax on anything you pass on above £3 million, and you've got 10 years to pay it. I mean, this is an exceptional deal that no one else in society has got. And frankly, I think the farmers need to keep quiet so that other people don't get angry and saying, why are they getting that preferential treatment?
Keep quiet,
this is about the very food security that, we all need to eat. We all need food on our plates. And if farmers don't provide that and can't provide that because they're going out of business left, right and centre, this isn't any ordinary business. And I'm sorry, the Institute for Fiscal Studies, let's be clear, in my opinion, they're a left-wing think tank. They want capital gains tax put on debt. They were trying to lobby the Chancellor before the budget, saying not just inheritance tax, put capital gains tax on second properties and businesses as well. So they would go even further. They would completely decimate most of the businesses in this country. We shouldn't listen to a word they say.
Spectrum, the IFS is respected as being neutral and authoritative. And the reality is farmers are going to be able to pass on wealth way beyond other members of society.
So why are farmers up in arms about it, Bill?
Go back through history. Farmers are a very well organised and coordinated lobbying group who lobby very loudly and very heavily against any change that protects their vested interests.
Bill,
and that's what's going on.
Have you ever worked on a farm, Bill? Do you know what the kind of day a farmer has? Up at 5 a.m, if he's lucky, if he's not up earlier, particularly if you're a dairy farm.
And there's lots of people in society who work those hours and they don't get the benefits that farmers are getting.
Every day, you can't take a holiday, you can never take a day off. It's a flipping hard lifestyle. I know it is. I come from a farming family, and the way farmers are treated is despicable. No farmers, no food. That's the reality here. We have to look after the people that feed us, and I'm absolutely appalled. This was pretty much out of the blue. Not entirely out of the blue. It was mooted before the budget, but it was pretty much out of the blue, and we're all going to suffer as a result of this.
Do you know, farmers do incredibly good work, and they work very hard, but they can't hold the country to ransom.
They're not holding the country to ransom. They feed the country.
And they should not be able to expect that they get preferential treatment that no one else in society gets.
What they're actually doing is it's just passing their farm on to the next generation so that next generation can feed us.
But anyone else can say that about the inheritance tax laws. We've got a massive transference of wealth from generation to generation that will grow inequality. We've got public services that need funding. I'd far rather we're funding that through inheritance tax than taxes on ordinary working people. That's the choice. And people who oppose this inheritance tax change have to answer, what other taxes would you put up? Or what cuts in public spending would you deliver?
We don't, Bill. That's wrong. Because, Rachel Reeves has claimed she's found this £22 billion black hole.
True.
Okay, let's assume that is true. I dispute that, frankly. But then she manages to give Ed Miliband £22 billion for a completely spurious...
Over 5 years, so the figures aren't equivalent.
Carbon storage a plan that might not even work. If there was a genuine black hole, if we were genuinely struggling cash, that would not have happened.
Do you know, people voted for
We'd
change.
have got farmers to plant
they've got change all right, Bill. They've got change all right.
People voted for change at the general election. They voted for investment in public services. That has to be paid for. I'd far rather that the wealthy contribute to that change rather than ordinary working people.
But the wealthy are leaving the country, Bill.
Yeah.
Let's see things settle down. We've always had these claims in the past. When you go back a year later and you see virtually nobody's gone, they've got a stake in this country.
It's that same old thing. It's this towny attitude, I'm afraid, that all farmers are rich. It's absolute
No, I'm not saying
rubbish.
that. And the figures actually show that only 2,000 out of 209,000 farms will be affected. I saw a tax consultant yesterday that said it'll be even less than that.
Well, that's not true.
Farms.
That's not true, Bill. In
Well, he knows what he's talking
2021-22, 500 farms were involved, and that's gone up much more now. The NFU reckons that 75% of all farms are going to be affected by this. And if you look at DEFRA zone figures that I mentioned earlier, that makes perfect sense. And that's 75% potentially of our British foods.
Look, Bill, over the past 20 odd years, we've had a lot of madness in this country, political madness, where we've got rid of all our energy suppliers. We don't frack, we don't mine coal, we're cutting back on gas, and now we're sorting on our food as well. It's absolute nonsense. When are we going to learn lessons in this country?
We need to learn lessons about fairness, and these changes are about fairness. And Suzanne says that repeating ridiculous claims by the NFU that 75% farms are going to be affected. You just quoted that the average farm price is 2.2 million. Well, they can pass on £3 million tax-free under these changes.
No, it's a £1 million threshold.
No, it's 1 plus 1 and an additional £1 million. And you then get a reduced rate of inheritance tax of 20% that no one else in society gets, and you get 10 years to pay it. This is a damn good deal.
Well, as I said, Bill, the fact is most farm incomes are not going to be enough to pay that. They're going to have to sell land. And then what's going to happen? Oh, whoopee, Ed Miliband's going to be even
This is
happier.
the point, Bill. You sell a field
to
pay some of this tax bill off. What happens to that field?
Yeah,
it doesn't get farmed on. They probably put some ponies on or use it for
or a solar
recreation.
farm or something.
or a solar farm or something like that.
The minority of farmers who are affected will pass on their farms before they die to their children, and they'll avoid the tax. It's what farmers have done since time immemorial.
Yeah.
This is manufactured, over-the-top lobbying.
And you don't think they're looking to close that as well?
Well,
that's
listen,
the other
there's
thing.
nothing in the budget.
Listen, it's time for the quiz of the week. Right, it's a yes or no quiz, Suzanne. You know how it works. I think, who did you play last time? Was it Stephen?
It was Bill. It was Bill, and I lost a point because I didn't.
Right, okay.
Hated,
So it's time. It's time for revenge, and I think Bill's going to slip up this week. Well, try and make him anyway. So number one, Bill, will Trump be a force for good?
No.
Yeah.
Suzanne. Suzanne, should Sir Keir Starmer welcome Trump to Parliament?
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Ooh. 3, Bill, should Labour scrap the inheritance tax on farms?
No.
Suzanne?
Yes.
Verbal tick. Can't give you that.
I didn't quite understand the question. Then.
Yes. It's got to be a yes or a no.
You know I'm a definite yes.
I can't give you that. They never learn, do they, Bill? Suzanne, will Labour smash the gangs?
No.
Yes.
You said that with a straight face, didn't you?
I believe it.
And Bill, I don't even know what I've written here. What does that say there?
Should.
Should Bill Rammell make a political comeback?
Yes.
There's a tick there. There's definitely a tick there, weren't there? Yes.
It was.
Yeah, so I can't give you that. Suzanne, chance to equalise. Should Bill Rammell?
Of course. Yes.
Oh, my
Oh no, I did it
God.
wrong again.
What is wrong with people?
So,
Yeah, I'm just going to have a word with
Yes,
producer. Can we get some better guests next time on the show? It's basic, isn't it? Yes or no? Bill, do you want to come back on one? Should you make a political comeback?
Given there's a process going on, Labour people going to the House of Lords, I'm going to say nothing.
Oh,
It's
scoop.
Lord Bill. Can we
Scoop.
put Lord Bill on the show? So we're interested in Lord Bill Rammell. Suzanne, do you want to come back on one? We should Sir Keir Starmer welcome Donald Trump to Parliament, get him on the old steps in Westminster Hall, let him address the House of Commons and the House of Lords.
Yeah,
That'd be a
absolutely,
fun day.
definitely. I think so. I mean, I remember when Trump last came to the UK, it was actually terribly exciting. I was driving down the M40 and I saw his cavalcade of helicopters fly across the motorway in front of me as he was going to dinner in Oxford. It was very
And we should
exciting.
stop this silliness as well, Sir Bill, or Lord Bill, of this. I think it was Khan who put the big balloon up over the Thames of. I mean, what was all that about? It's childish.
Look, once someone is elected, you work with them. I mean, God, I'm a minister who went and negotiated with the North Koreans in North Korea.
Yeah.
So, if you're prepared to do that, you talk to people, you engage with them. And the United States is our biggest, most influential partner.
is.
And of course, we will work with them.
It is. Oh, listen, that's a great quiz. It was 4-all. Thanks, Suzanne Evans. Thanks, Lord Bill Rammell. Get ready for that. I'm going to be seeing him knocking the back.